What are some exit row no-nos? Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is an aviation safety tip. If you've ever been seated in an emergency exit row on a plane, you may have noticed that there's a couple of additional steps that you need to take before takeoff. The flight attendant will come around, and anyone who is seated in an emergency exit row will be subject to an additional briefing, and you are required to give a verbal yes that you are willing and able to fulfill the role of assisting the crew in the event of an emergency. But what does that mean? That means that in the event of an emergency and an evacuation, you are seated where the exit door is, and you will need to open that door. On most planes, there's a clear cap over a red handle that will say pull or something similar. That's the handle that you pull to open the door in the event of an emergency. You should never open that cap or pull that lever unless you are instructed by a crew member. There are also a few rules to follow for who can and cannot sit in the emergency exit row, and these are federally regulated rules, so you have to comply with them. The first is there is an age requirement. You have to be 15 years of age or older to sit in an emergency exit row. You also need to be able to read, speak, and hear and understand the language. That does mean that if a passenger is deaf or blind, they are not qualified to sit in the emergency exit row. You also must be free from other duties, so that would mean having to care for a small child or a pet. If you are the person responsible for a small child or a pet, you cannot sit in the emergency exit row. For the physical requirements, you have to be physically able to remove the cover from the handle, which is typically located above your head, so you have to be able to reach up. You have to be able to pull the handle, fully extend it, and push the entire door out the hole that will suddenly appear when you unlock the handle. If you have certain medical conditions or injuries, that means that you may not be qualified to sit in the emergency exit row. If you have any type of condition that may prohibit you from quickly and efficiently doing all of these steps when immediately called upon, and that does include using a seatbelt extender, then you are disqualified from sitting in the emergency exit row. Also, if you have issues with movement, so it's difficult for you to move your arms or your legs or get around really easily, you will not be able to sit in the exit row. People who are intoxicated or very clearly under the influence of substances also are disqualified from sitting in the exit row. The reason that you have to give a verbal yes to the flight attendant is so that, one, they know that you understand the language. You understand it such that you are able to provide the verbal yes. They also have to confirm that you know the duties that come with sitting in an exit row, which also sometimes happen to come with a little extra leg room. If you don't feel like you are willing or able to assist the crew in the event of an emergency and an evacuation, then you should probably choose another seat ahead of time, because in the event of an evacuation and emergency, you have to be able to react fast, and they are serious when they say that they want you to understand that you will be assisting the crew members. Choosing to sit in the emergency exit row and choosing to not assist in the event of an emergency could result in the loss of life of your fellow passengers.